so many women against doing paternity tests when the baby is born. I just made a video about the Laura Owen situation, a woman who accused the bachelor Clayton Eckert of being the father of her child, being indicted for paternity fraud because essentially she said that she was pregnant by him. She wasn't actually pregnant at all. So the judge actually decided to report her, and now there is a criminal case open against her for the paternity fraud. In my comment section, there are women talking about how women are entitled to bodily autonomy and that they also have to look out for the bodily autonomy of the child. To do a DNA test, you don't actually need the DNA of the mother. Does it help the test go smoother? Yes, but having the mother's DNA is definitely not required. I get that it might be embarrassing or kind of rude, but shouldn't the father be able to know that the child is his just like the mother knows that the child is hers because it came out of her? It seems like we should know who the father of our children are, and it shouldn't be offensive for someone to ask for a DNA test.
I agree. And I think that one of the many egregious things that probably is not addressed or even talked about in society is that now that we've advanced modern technology, we have no clue how many people prior to us actually is not even our fathers, grandfathers, great grandfathers. You don't even know what your real ancestry is because there's a lot of people that took that to the death. They took that to the grave. And one thing that women have never been held accountable for is paternity fraud. Even till today, we do not have updated family court laws. We've advocated for feminism. We've advocated for equal. I think that women, to a larger extent, have taken a my body, my choice thing all the way too far. So much so to where we now have to overcorrect. And I think that over the next probably few years, you're going to see an uprising of people wanting to have a conversation and bring it to the forefront. And I think that it's important for men that is not under duress, that is not under child support, that does not have problems with paternity to be having this conversation, because once you find yourself under the mercy of the court, you crying and complaining about it is going to fall on deaf ears. And we've seen that happen with celebrities. We've seen that happen with regular men. And one of the biggest complaints that men have, even when it came to this past election, when they asked the men what did they want, they asked black men specifically what did they want from Kamala Harris in order to try to appease and win over the black vote because they weren't doing a good job with the policies that they were trying to present. They told them, they said, we don't need federal laws that give us an opportunity to smoke weed. We want updates to family court laws, and we want updates to child support. And one of the things that you can do to solve for that is to get paternity at birth, and then also punish the people, including the egregious women that we've seen both in the past and in the future, because we'll have laws that retroactively punish men that did sexual assault or violence, but women aren't held accountable for paternity fraud. Why? I seen her do another video also, because one of the things, before I continue this conversation, and I'm always going to give content credit to the content creator, so that link will be down in the description. Also, Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. And then last but not least, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. I want to go through and I want to look at the video prior to this, because when you guys send me these videos and they say, okay, well, in the previous video, this is where this stems from, I want to get to the core and the root of the problem of why she started to draw this conclusion and why people were responding to her in the comments. Mainly women were responding to her in the comments. But one of the problems that I see in society is that we don't enforce punishing people, that then we don't insist, we don't advocate for, we don't highlight how we need to punish people that commit paternity fraud. If you assume or you say that a man, that this is his child, which I think is probably one of the most egregious, disrespectful things for a child to grow up and to not know who their real parent is because their mother was promiscuous, or to grow up thinking that one man is the father and then the other one is just walking around knowing that he looks like him, probably in the same town, in the same city, and you cheated to the point to where it actually resulted in that child being born with another father, and you were doing two different guys at the same time and didn't even know which one was pregnant, or maybe you do know which one you're pregnant by. And then at some point, expect for the man to still take care of the child. And we see this with the fact that once a man is taking care of a child for so long, even though it was fraud, it was under the pretense of fraud, that he is still under the responsibility, depending on what state you in, to still send child support checks or to still take care of that child, is disrespectful. I think it's disrespectful. And now that you see guys that are having this conversation, and they want to overcorrect for the problems, and there is not going to be any kind of retroactive compensation. I think that men should be able to sue if they find out that that child wasn't there, not only for child support but for emotional distress. And not only that, the child should be able to sue also. But let me go over to the actual video where she initially had this conversation that triggered so many women that said that it's her autonomy and they shouldn't be able to find out whether or not the child is theirs or not. It's crazy to me.
You're going to claim that a man is the father of your child, you better be sure, because the courts will indict you for paternity fraud. This woman name is Laura Owens. If you don't know her, she accused a former Bachelor contestant named Clayton Eckert of being the father of her child. Not just her child, her twin children. When he didn't believe that she was pregnant and definitely didn't want any parts in her pregnancy, she decided to open a paternity lawsuit against him to prove that he is the father and to get orders that he actually participates in her pregnancy, and she asked for child support. Clayton never believed that she was pregnant, and he definitely did not think that he was the father because he said that he never actually had intercourse with her to result in having a child. Laura's story changed up multiple times, and eventually she decided to drop the lawsuit because the judge was starting to get an inclination that she was lying, and Laura was never able to actually prove that she was pregnant. She said that she had a miscarriage, and she wanted to drop the lawsuit. Clayton was like, oh no, we are not dropping this lawsuit, and decided to take it to court to prove that she was never pregnant. And I know that Clayton is happy that he did this because Laura just got indicted on criminal charges for paternity fraud. Essentially, she lied to both Clayton and the courts, telling them that she was pregnant and she really wasn't. Now, I know some people think they can just shame men into being the father of their child, but she was not able to pull this over Clayton's eyes or the court eyes, and now she's facing.
Okay, so I understand the circumstance now. I understand why women are feeling some type of way. But here's the thing, we got to start pursuing it. The same way that they pursue these guys in court, the same way that they pursue child support, the same way that they pursue launching these lawsuits, we have to pursue it, especially the guys with resources. You have to pursue the punishing of women that fraud, because it is fraud and it is lies and it is deception and there's a lot of other things. And I think that women should go to jail for some of this stuff. We have to start pursuing getting these women punished to make an example so that we also can advocate for paternity at birth. I'm not tripping about it, me personally, because after I've had my daughter, I have a vasectomy, so I'm not even in that position, and I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that type of problem at all. But I don't think that you have to go through it in order to advocate for it, because what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. If women are advocating against updating family court laws, if guys are paying for children that are not theirs, which we know that family court is a racket that has stood up and make billions of dollars every single year at the behest or the demise of a man's finances and the relationship that he has with his child and the mother of his child, that women are incentivized to leave relationships and marriages, and we've never saw for that for my entire lifetime. Again, I've never had that problem. I had a great two-parent household. My father was my father, and everything was awesome. But if we're not advocating for the right thing and we're incentivizing people to continue to go under the radar, unnoticed, suffer, and when they get defrauded, they have no way to retroactively get some kind of closure or help or nothing. It's just, it just is what it is. Thank you. Good night. Man, I think that it's horrible. It's disrespectful, and it's something that needs to be addressed in society at
criminal
large.
charges.
100%. So make
She
sure you
said that
guys
she
tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Henley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off of life. Again, I always like to link back to the content creator. Let me know what you guys think. And why do you think that people are so slow-footed to get paternity at birth? I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to see you on the Millionaire Morning Show.